Ready? Ready. Every morning I get up Yeah. Nice game. Ready? I'll get some tea. I'll do my best.
Test 1, 2, 3, 4. And hi, everybody, and welcome to our coverage of the 2021 Beatdown here in beautiful Lake Worth, Florida. Jim Stevens, Mark Torres will be joining us here shortly as we bring you action from a boutique tournament down here in South Florida. A lot of fun. 85 players. They cap it at 80. A few more snuck in. Are here this weekend to compete, including some of the best players in the world, players like Tommy Atkinson, Tony Spredeman, Tom Yor, and others. So as we get things underway here on a Friday night, I hope you enjoy our free coverage. If you're not a subscriber, head over to InsideFoods.com and subscribe to Inside Foods. More than 700 matches from throughout the archives of Inside Foods, live events, special original programming, as well as we bring you opening night here at the Beatdown Beatdown. Meanwhile, check out some action on table number 1.
Oh, you can't do that, can you?
No, my bad. It's off the wall there. I'll take it on the side. We did this in the finals last week, didn't we? Alright. It's off.
Well, at least I've learned.
Yeah, you did. You remember last week? Alright, ready?
Oh, sorry. No worries.
Block them all, man. Good job.
There you go. Last point, there you are. Good game.
I mean,
I had a hard time doing that last
whatever. It is what it is. Good thing it's double elimination. We'll see you guys again.
All right. Gonna be Brent. We can break now.
We did not.
Handsome team wins. Win?
That's what I just gotta remember what to do.
Yeah, you don't think you got a problem with it? You seem to be blocking well. You seem to be shooting well.
No, I gotta elbow
You met her husband.
loose arm and elbow.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that.
It probably doesn't matter.
If I don't step
What do
on,
you mean, how far?
tuck in and make sure it's loose.
Player, hockey.
If I stub up, if I tip it up, I'll hit post. Otherwise,
There you go.
and that's it.
Yeah, so it's you're going to play
And
that
now that opens the short.
for the right play. Okay.
Ready, Derek?
There's one right there.
Oh, we got to do one right now? Yes, it's only 2 teams in the final? No, or 4?
Yeah, there's only 4.
Okay. All right, oh, these are the
You guys need to play them for the right to come play us again.
Yeah, that's what I said. We'll see you in a minute.
All right?
Okay, sure.
Want to take a break or no?
No, just 5 seconds. Heads. Yeah, still got a good chair.
Exactly. I was like,
So what's going on over here? Stay on? T-shirt. They have
Well, that push up here.
I just want to see that.
So this is the beach.
They gave us she said tell all of them at the library.
What you want to do? What was the place that had the river playing them? I don't know. So I have a question here. Can you buy the t-shirts at Hogs? Is this an admission fee?
These were all ordered and they were with part of registration. No, it was first come, first served. First game.
I'm gonna have t-shirt out by It's all right. Here is a napkin, swag. Also,
Oh, nice.
So this TV is being streamed live to Inside the Booths. They do.
one the other way around. Okay, that's cool.
So we were able to put it together, have them come down and do our turns, which is pretty cool.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you want?
They just finished the game, they're going to go to the next round.
I just think you're way better at defense. But how do you play? I mean, it's a good game, but it's quality.
Usually, so what they'll do is, as games are pulled together, premier games like really good players get out with each other, they'll bring them together. Like when the big finals are happening, like we're doing finals for the drawing partner, and they just put it in the match. Luke is on.
Hold up. Is that okay with you guys?
And again, everybody, I'd like to welcome you to our free hour here at YouTube, looking in on Table 1. They really have us in a neat setup here. There are 8 or 10 tables out on the front part of Lilo's, the bar down here on Lake Street in Lake Worth, Florida. And then they have 2. You can see the one in the background. That is our stream number 2, which you can access if you are an InsideFoods.com subscriber. And then you have table number 1 here, which also will be available just to subscribers later tonight. After our free preview here at YouTube as well. So that's our good friend Mark Torres on the left here. He's going to join us in the booth in a little while to talk foosball. And that's Chris Carson out of Jacksonville, Florida on the right side, outstanding player, who says he just got off the road after a 5-hour drive. And so he's hoping to get warmed up. And you can kind of see by his body language, his energy, that that's what he's doing. He's hoping to get warmed up. There's Toro, Mark Torres.
All right.
We have a camera off. Mark and I looking forward to spending some time with all of you as we cover this great event here in Lake Worth.
Driving for a long time. Yeah, no.
And you can kind of look back here behind the scenes, enjoying an IPA, the first one of the day for us. As when in Dodge, have some Dodge beer, so to speak. But anywhere we go, that's one of the neat things. And those of you who do listen to Foos Talk Live on Foosball Radio know that we enjoy our IPAs. And as we travel around the country, of course, different parts of the country have different kinds of IPAs. We're enjoying a High Life, which we actually had on the radio show last week, from Tampa, from up at Cigar City Brewing. Meanwhile, we'll give you a look here at Table 1 as we are awaiting a match to be called.
Unlube the rod. Actually, a guy I play with, every time he plays singles, he writes down both his goalie rods. Smart. He does for the spin. Yeah. But I don't know how he shoots. But all right. Oh, that was wide open too. I gotta get used to the bumpers. Gotta get the right bounce off. Oh yeah. Tough to the wall.
again, we're awaiting a match here on table number 1 that should be called here in just a few minutes. Meanwhile, you're watching Chris Carson and Mark Torres warm it up here on the feature table.
One last drink, I might have sat there. Oh, good job. That was the last thing I was looking for, by the way. Mark, we gotta get Nick. Yeah, they got stuff going on. It's after something.
Nothing called.
We get, yeah, call something. Find some. They'll do whatever we want.
It's just so horrible that the audience is not mad.
It's probably the best thing to watch right now. That'd be the best. Come on. Come on.
That existed. They call every match of mine. Because AC is.
Yeah. You want this little like 10 degrees lower in your
Oh, yeah. Last time we did this, I think 2 years ago, AC like legitimately work at the bar. There was never seen it was inside.
This game is fucking tough. Did he start on the one? Yeah.
Table, we need to stand out.
Yeah.
It keeps grabbing it. Let's see, maybe that's.
Oh, what? Come on. Oh. Ready?
Right? That's when you feel it.
What tacos are here, bro? You're about to do that. I really hear you ordered 6 tacos. That's a lot of tacos. Good for Jim.
All right.
Trying to do gorge yourself?
I know. Yes, gorgeous.
You playing that?
What's that?
You playing Olympics? You completely lost me for tacos, bro. I'm just letting you right now.
I got Europe.
Oh, look at these tacos. Unaccounted for tacos over here.
Yes, yeah. The best kind.
Yeah, that's the best favorite tacos.
Unaccounted for tacos. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Who's across 10 years younger? Where does this go? Nowhere.
It's like this is the last game. We're playing so hard, all this are to this.
Lloyd's another man in life. What is it?
Get in there.
Ready?
Did they get back before? I'm out or no?
Yeah, you good.
Jesus, I got so excited.
Oh, you're doing it. See, I'm good.
Practice, dude.
Ready?
Yeah, ready. Where'd it go?
sure you yell at me when we're up.
You think I'm paying attention?
Yeah, I know. That's a concern. That's a legitimate concern.
You're my
Well, at least I can smoke now.
Dude, Tommy Atkins just bought me 6 shots to make up for Texas at one time.
To make up for Texas.
Thanks, Derek. Yeah, man.
On Sunday night I did 680 on my tab.
Oh, wow, that's strong.
That's 1680.
16.
You got me, buddy. You were getting me, buddy.
Where are you playing away? You better get So you let us know. I want to watch. Emily is so
All right, Chris, get out of the way.
excited that she's gonna fuck off. She's gonna be here by noon tomorrow.
Who's going to win? Any predictions?
Nobody's gonna win. We're all gonna. Everybody's splitting and going home.
I predicted who won.
Nice. Nice.
So we're gonna. She's gonna put the.
Hey, you want to hit lottery?
Oh, yeah.
We'll back up on that.
Yeah, no
Take
worries.
the ball. We'll take this table too.
Yeah, is yours David? All right, we can do this. Yeah, I like it.
There are tacos over there. Your tacos over there on the table.
How did I end up with shrimp?
I don't know. I like it.
That's what I wanted. I know that she switched it.
Hey, hi everyone.
Real well, how are you doing?
Good. I love your partner's shirt. I know that. That's a hell of a shirt.
Budweiser, I don't think.
Well, they sell Bud Light. Bud Heavy's not good for me.
How many box tops did you instead of get?
Oh, that's nice.
How many box tops? How many cases? You can drink, you know.
Bought it. Always bought it at the store. I'm sure.
See this type of stuff.
How drunk are you? I might have a chance.
You're on live stream.
Guess we gotta get service on camera.
Feels weird.
We were on camera.
Yeah, they did.
They did?
Yeah.
They did?
I think they straightened it out.
Do you pull?
Nobody was there doing
Yeah, I like the bull one, yeah. I heard him talking for a little bit.
Hi, guys.
Good luck, guys.
Goodbye.
All right, so we got to win one. You guys got to win two.
Yeah.
And it's over. Sound good?
Yep. And it's 5 to 5, right? Or
7.
7? 7 still?
Yep. All right, ready?
No. Shenanigans. Yeah. I like one of your goal. I was trying to stop.
convenient.
Ready? Ready. Nice shot. Beautiful. Ready? Ready. Ready? Ready. Oh, Mark, Mark, get that ball. Did it go in your taco? Thank you. Right in the taco. You ready? Here we go. Yep. Beautiful. Good shot. Ready? Ready. Shit, there, good shit. That's over. That's the final. I'm good for the weekend. I'm happy now. I'm gonna go sit in Jim's lap for the rest of the weekend. Do color commentary. Yeah, second. Yeah. I think there's a medal. You just get a hug. That's good enough.
You get a hug from me too. Great play.
All right, JR. That's what I'm talking about. Good game, buddy.
Beginner doubles, yeah.
We get the satisfaction of being on the inside football.
Yeah, exactly.
You had to do it play back. But we were pretty good. So I really normally take for it. My rod.
Listen, JR, you won. My dog. Yeah, thank God.
You got Snyder's money and you just go. You just.
Yeah.
You already had one.
I think it's great. I think it's like
Peter,
so,
So Jim, you ready to talk to them about putting whatever they want?
That was a really good day. I was
Right. He had a ticket on hope. Just one. I think you've graduated from playing fish.
Hard to break all that.
I get you guys a drink.
No, I'm good, brother. Thank you.
Want something to drink? Want something to drink?
Actually, I got a highlight there.
All right. Well, let me know you want another one. You want another one? Well, I don't know about that. So maybe you need another one then. You good? Before I'm done, you guys are gonna get a beer for me, please?
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'll buy you a Mauler.
No. I don't know what a Muller is, but I'm not sure if I want it.
Sounds like a bad idea.
I got a wife, I'm good. I don't know what the Muller is. I'm playing open though. Tom.
What are you doing? Like, you're doing it
He called me like Harry. Yeah, here you go. Just drunk.
Have you done the Mile High?
I mean, it should be fun. I'm just gonna try to get in the
I've done a
ball.
parking lot. That's not true.
That's all I do.
I don't play round robin or something?
No, no, yeah, park. Well, for me, I'm pretty good.
Oh, you. Definitely him.
Were you listening to Aerosmith? Well,
I got a video of the I got a video. I got a video of it. You gotta be kidding me, of course. I must have.
Did you have it like under as well? Like, were you just doing like the
No, then down the pool table after that. Yes. I get videos like I was gonna say it. I think he's had down to his white snake out of it like that's a white snake for sure.
You know she died.
That chick. When I grew up, that chick. It's not easy. It's not easy. Trying to put them in enough order, don't work.
Not mentioning the nerds, but weird science.
And Lady in Red.
I
had Ross. Oh yeah, that was a good song. My Science Project. Was it My Science Project or Weird Science?
Weird science. Weird science. Yeah, we're going back, guys.
That was a big one.
Huh? You know where I'm going?
Both my life.
Yeah, you too, Josh. We'll talk.
We go to the park now.
Let me go tell him this in the back of it. We should talk to the people. They're watching this. That's what someone like actually delivers. Delivers order. All right, I'll be right back.
smokes. Wow. My phone ringing. Jim, this will be matches here in a minute. Two balls underneath, you can see them. You just take a look underneath there, bro. And you'll see two balls underneath there. They're on the left. Yep.
Here just in case it happens again.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Hey, Amy. There'll be matches up here in a minute. Yeah, it's a push kick, Jim. Did you actually make that? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if I was trying to go dead man, I'd go dead man.
Which one of the, did y'all film the, which one? The Semi or the?
Just the one here.
Just the last match?
The last one.
Because I can get it on my, you know, I can, yeah. Right. I had a couple of questions with that. A couple of times I went on and they said, like, they would say, it doesn't support that, strictly don't support that. I'm not a real big computer guy. Is there a reason for that? And then I go back to the email that I got when I subscribed. And I can go there, and then I
You have to talk to our technical people. I think there's a question. Someone can ask a question right on. I think it's contact at inside. It's contact at inside.
Okay. I'll shoot an email too. I don't know if it's why but it didn't make sense. I can go back to the email because I done it at Texas State. You know what I'm saying? And then I went browse, and I was fine. But I couldn't go to this inside boot straight up and hit it.
So let's play while we're waiting, man.
I think we need to talk to people.
I talked to Kristen, and
I need to people who are watching.
okay, oh, let's do that. You want to talk to him over here while we're playing? Let's just talk to him over here while we're playing. That's not an actual defense. I know this. Let's go, fellas.
Come get some air conditioning. Holy
10
moly.
degrees lower.
I go outside, sweat for a little bit, come in there, it feels better. And then
Well, I just played a match.
Meanwhile,
We played like a 20-minute match.
I watched it the other game. I can't believe you guys lost that game.
meanwhile.
So Davin just packed away.
We made like
Let's go.
to speak up a little bit.
They almost got a match. A lot of people cut us off right here. Saved $1 million on that one.
People, hi everybody. Jim Stevens, Mark Torres, with you on a Friday night here at the Beatdown as we get things underway here in Lake Worth, Florida. Mark, your first time down here, just arrived a few hours ago. What do you think? There's like 8 or 10 tables set up in the front room. We've got just 2 back here. Not a big crowd back here yet, but there's a lot of people out.
There's a lot of people out there, and they've been saving it up, and we're ready to get rolling with some great foosball action. If you might have saw the beginners double final. Awesome. Watson just won that final. But all the action is going to start coming in here. So it's going to get very, very exciting in our little, this is an amazing little bar, by the way. It's a Hogwarts, Harry Potter themed little deal. There's like 3 or 4 rooms, Jim.
I think there's 3 here.
So it's going to start
Great food also. I just had 3 shrimp tacos. They're all so good. So, no, a lot of fun. Mark and I are going to be here all weekend long. If you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe at InsideBoost.com if you want to watch all the action. Tommy Atkinson, Blake Robertson playing together. That should be exciting. Tom Moore's here. Tony Sprayman will be here as well. A lot of big stars here in Florida. A lot of players maybe you don't know and become familiar with as the weekend goes on.
The Midori Mauler. They're selling a lot of them right now. So if you're in the local area, come down to Lilo's Street Food Bar and have a Mauler.
And use the code word Pepe, and it goes on Mark Torres' tab.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling that.
I went up there, I said it 5 times already tonight. So, and it just gave away to friends because I don't really drink it. I don't drink any less. I mean, anymore. All right. Should we play?
Let's play. Good ball. Good ball. You're 5 bar, dude.
5 bar. All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Ready? Go. What do you think? Even if that doesn't go in, I'm still setting you up for something later. You know that, right? Sure. I'll have a lot of spin on it. All right, ready?
Yes, sir. I'm ready. I like to sing opera when I'm playing football. We shooting 8 shots here?
Shooting what?
Shooting primaries?
Whatever you want. All right. I have 1 shot. It's called a push thing. That's about it. What do you do?
I'll show you the second one. There's rules, dude. There's still rules.
I'm not sure about that.
Oh, God, really?
You try to go a Alfredo on you. Oh, dive for it, Torres. He's under
We lost the ball. Ball down.
Do we have another?
Yeah, we have two.
Oh, good.
Ready? I have the guy with the broom. Just fishing off the
It's just me and you back here. This is the pit area. We have nothing on table 1, nothing on table 2. Well, we have this on table 1. We have nothing on table 4.
hatch point up here.
Oh, look out.
Jim, are we playing you?
No, you're not. Are you up there? All right, we have a match here.
Awesome.
Whoever
Hey,
gets this
Hey, I
ball-
just have to say this.
All right, hold on.
yes.
Pepe.
Oh, dude, ready? You ready? You gotta love that. I love that. All right, Mahler, you ready?
I'm ready. I don't know what it is, but I'm ready.
It's a great drink. It's it's vodka and habanero and.
Oh, I love it already.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be.
It's habanero.
I've had 3 already, which is 1 too many.
Yeah, I got you.
There's just 3 too many.
No, it's coming. What's your name? Paul. Nice to meet you. We just have a Pepe order over here. Paul.
Paul Ledger.
Potential.
This is neat. Yeah.
Do y'all mind if I try to hit a couple balls?
Get in here. Get in here.
Sorry,
Get in
It's all
here.
your stuff. You go.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. We should not be on the
Free
table.
table. No, it's fine. I'm sorry.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
I'm not good enough to just walk up and play.
Yes, you are.
Oh, yes.
I just want a 10. We'll start at 10. Hi, Jim. How are you?
Good. How's it going?
Fabulous. Thank you.
Jim, put me on camera for a second.
You want to call in? You want to?
Yeah, I got it. He's like the third person to use the ball code. Password Pepe.
Password Pepe.
I'm not going to hear you.
Huh?
I'm not going to hear you.
Over here?
Talk, yeah, go right up to the table. This
Over here.
Right here.
Is there a camera for that? It's all a photo of. Over here, dude? Where the hell am I? All right. So the password's Pepe?
This is Pepe.
You get some Mahler, okay?
Are you waiting to start a game, or are you
I'm ready to hit him with 5 Mahlers.
Just started?
I'm happy to have. Thank you.
You're missing both of your opponents?
Hopefully I'm allowed.
Paul's getting them all.
That's your partner.
Jim's right
No,
there.
that's my
Jim's
partner.
right in the little boy's room. He'll be ready.
All right, take 2. Are you waiting to start the game? Yes. Finish. So you're missing your partner. Your opponent is. All right. So for us,
Why you got prep? Well, that's...
so my quarter go heads. You're a babe.
Okay, you say it.
Yeah, I was like, I wasn't sure it was coming down. So
That's how you do it.
if I come down, I have to say it.
It landed in the dark.
Thank you for this, Jim.
Yeah, hey, Mark Torres and I are here together. How about that?
Hey, headset. Hold on, let me just see what's going on.
Yeah, I might have to adjust that camera.
Check.
You want to do your vocal exercises?
Bumblebee, 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 bumblebee. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sa, fa, mi, re, do. I'm ready.
It's only Mark in the booth. I'm back there somewhere. There I am.
What am I supposed to do here?
Jim and Mark with you on a Friday night as we're bringing you some action in expert doubles down on table number 1. That's Paul Ledger in the forward position, Daphne Wells at goal, Chris Forsyth in the forward position, and the veteran Jim Dumas in the goalie position. First game, best 2 games out of 3. Expert doubles for 5th place or better in the winners bracket. How about that?
Wow, man, they moved along. Paul, by the way, just used the password Pepe.
No way.
And he got a mauler. I'm on my 4th one, and I think he's on his 1st. He must be, because he just used the password. That heavy breathing is my nostrils.
You say you're on your 4th. Yeah. Is there alcohol in that? I don't.
There is plenty of alcohol, but I'm highly controlled and I'm beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I don't doubt either of those things. Well, one of them. You are beautiful. Anyway.
Thank you for joining the party here at the Beatdown.
Yeah.
This is a stunning
That's
location,
what it is.
man. Yeah, it's great.
It's a party, and it's a lot of fun so far. Of course, Tommy Brewer, Dana Brewer, Luke Watson and company do such a great job here in Lake Worth, Florida, South Florida. I guess we're about, 60 miles or so north of Miami, 60, 70 miles north of Miami along the Atlantic coast.
Jim, well done looking at Google Maps. I have no idea where the hell I am. I landed in Palm Beach and took a cab 15 minutes. Who knows, dude? I could be in Mexico. It doesn't really matter. No. I'm having maulers and eating tacos, and we have good foosball in front of us.
We do. It's a Friday night, and you're watching free at YouTube. And, of course, if you'd like to subscribe, head over to InsideFoods.com, and you can watch us all weekend long. And you can watch Texas State Championship action. You can watch Moneyball action from earlier this year and more than 500 other videos at InsideFoods.com. Taken away here by Forsyth. 1-1 here in the first game.
By the way, if you're interested in table number 2 action, Mike Yor is playing there. And I think that's also, is it also expert doubles? I think it is.
Yeah, it's expert doubles for 9th. It's Mike and Sean St. Germain going up against Kim Perez and Wayne Saunders. That's over on Stream 2. If you're a subscriber, nice pass here. Daphne to Paul.
Are we on YouTube now?
Shooting against Jim Dumas. And Jim Dumas, a veteran player from the 1980s, from Motor in this area. The backer of the striker table with Johnny Lott.
Oh, really?
Back in the 80s, yeah. That's him right there in the back.
Do you think he still talks to Johnny? Do you think they still...
Oh, God, of course not. There's not a chance of that.
Oh, well, I didn't say it. That was the assumption when I asked the question.
I understand that. Of course it was.
What does his hat say? Sweet Daddy?
Sweet Daddy D.
Ooh.
Yeah. That hat, I believe, is from the 1980s as well.
Sweet Daddy D. And D stands for defense.
Yeah, defense, I think.
I hope so. Otherwise, it's just way too hot.
That's a cool nickname when you think about it, as Ledger able to pick this one up, and he'll set it up in snake shot position and look for the lead. Paul. One's going to be blocked and taken away by Jim Dumas.
So Paul just got his mauler maybe 5 minutes ago.
Tell us about the mauler.
Yeah, the mauler. Okay, first of all, Midori designed an amazing Midori Kimura. Yeah. Designed an amazing cocktail. I didn't know what to think until I had one. It is vodka with habanero.
There is alcohol in it.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of vodka in it. There's enough vodka in it. Yeah. It's like a shot and a half of vodka.
Okay.
But Paul hasn't had. He just had a sip. So if he continues to drink that thing, watch his play just deteriorate.
You think
the rest
so?
Of it. Yes.
Yeah. It looks pretty good so far, although we are at 1-1 here in the first game. This is Chris Forsyth out of Georgia. Jim Dumas, Florida player.
I'm tempted to tell them not to increase the pressure at all, but let them know that our subscribers from 24 countries may be watching this. Do you think that helps or hurts?
I think for some it helps and for some it hurts. It's like being on table number 1. It goes 2 different ways. Either they can't handle it or they really thrive under those circumstances. And I think if you told me there were players from 24 different countries watching, I'm drilling that push kick, man. I want to show off to Belgium and Luxembourg and Taiwan and everywhere else.
If you tell me, I'm going to collapse into a pool of feces.
Yeah, I've seen it happen.
Pool of feces. That's gross. How's that happen? How do you get a pool of feces? Yeah, that's what happened. Sweet Daddy D has a nice little spray to the inside.
Yeah, we get a chance when we come to events like this. And I kind of called it a boutique tournament earlier this week or last week when I was promoting it. And it is kind of what it is. They cap it at 80 players. You know, it's held in a really cool bar down next to the beach.
Yeah, the beach is walking distance from here. We're staring at a cool little Airbnb that's 45 seconds across the parking lot.
45.
This is like playing in a resort beach town, which I think it is.
That's exactly what it is. And there's Forsyth hammering it home to make it 3-1. And a timeout called here by Ledger and Wells. But you can kind of see there's table 2 back there. That's stream 2 if you're a subscriber. And the match that Mark mentioned earlier, Saint Germain and Mike Yor against Kim Perez and Wayne Saunders.
So too bad you can't see, unless you watch a video I just posted on the Inside Foods public page, you can't see the beauty of this bar. We're actually in a private area, but there's a place called the library in the accompanying like ante room that has like a bookcase in it and a bar, and then through that room is a giant bar. And there's, 9 or 10 tables in there?
Yeah, with about 75 players out there.
Yeah.
We're all dropping.
Are they talking about getting a judge? What are they talking about?
Not necessarily a beatdown ball.
Oh, they need new balls.
We go balls for the Georgia and Alabama area.
I don't know what's happening.
Talking about regional balls.
Oh.
One ball was just.
I suppose. I mean, I heard Georgia, Alabama suggested.
So some of these balls are conservative and some of them are liberal, and I guess they want more conservative balls here?
That could be. There could be.
Okay.
We are south of the Mason-Dixon line, as far as I know.
Let's get some of those.
Hey, Mark, when we do go on camera, you and I, I'll need you to scoot back and look towards the camera.
Why, because you're trying to be seen? I thought the whole point was not to be seen. I'll be the face. You can be the voice.
Is that a bad thing, to be seen? Yeah, there we are. See, and I can't be seen. Oh, there I am. Anyway, welcome everybody, Jim and Mark, as we wait for some new balls to appear here on table number 1. But kind of a neat setup here for us. It's a little bit different. It's a little dark in here, but that's okay. It's kind of got some atmosphere to it, and we're having a good time. It's not Texas State Championships, which was a huge, major championship with a big finals area. It's kind of a simple finals area, although quite nice. And you know, Tommy Brewer and Dana really does all the work. By the way, I don't know if you knew that.
This thing does not happen without Dana walking around, letting people know that she's Dana.
Yeah, and she's very, very good at that, very confident at that. But Luke Watson, you know, Tommy's right-hand man, who really is the guy that does all the work, and had an opportunity to spend some time with him setting this up here today. And we're ready to bring you 3 days of championship action from South Florida. And the South Florida Foosball Club, of course, presenting this event at Lilo's. And it's quaint. It's almost like we're on vacation, except we're really not. We're working.
No, we're working hard. But you know, the big, gigantic tournament has their space, but this has its own little character and quality. This is a nice, fun tournament with a great atmosphere, with way less intensity in a lot of ways and way less rigor, and it has its place. So I enjoy both huge presentations and then the presentations like these.
Yeah. And you can see how much fun those two guys are having as they wait for balls. And here comes Daphne. Daphne is bringing a selection, maybe a couple of gifts, maybe some Chinese food.
Yeah, looks like Mongolian beef, if I had to guess. Maybe the foosball's over, Jim. Maybe they just decided that it's time to have Chinese food.
That's happened to me before.
Happens to me every Thursday, Jim. I think I'm at a foosball tournament and we're having Chinese food.
No, we may be wrong about the Chinese. All right.
I don't want
What's happening here, dude? Sorry. Jim's just adjusting a camera for us to make sure it's on target. We're about to get back here rolling.
But you said it. I think the key word that you said a little bit earlier was fun, right? I mean, obviously it's going to be competitive. There are great players here this weekend. We're going to talk about the Open Doubles event, I think, tomorrow when it gets underway. But we've got Tommy Atkinson, we've got Blake Robertson, we've got Tom York, Tony Spredeman. Some great all-time great players. A couple of whom are Hall of Famers, and a couple others who probably will be someday. So we've got the competitive side of it, Mark, but we also have the fun side.
Yeah, it's called the Beatdown Beatdown for a reason. We want to devolve into all-out violence at the end of the night. I don't think that's true. I think it's meant to be a novel, fun kind of experience for everybody, and that's what it is. It's just really, really a fun place to be at this point. Hanging out at a bar and playing foosball with 12 foosball tables is great.
There's Paul and Daphne. They trail 3-1 here in game number 1. But that's smart. The South Florida Foosball Club looks at the number of the tables that they can't have, including 6 brand new ones, by the way. But you will look at 12 tables. How many players can you have for a 12-table tournament to make sure that you don't run really late at night or early into the morning, to where everybody has fun? They do the math on that, and they make sure that they cap it at 80 players with 12 tables, which is manageable. We know we're not going to be here super late. We know it's going to be fun for everybody. It's not going to be having to wait around for long periods of time. And so they do the calculations, number of tables, number of players, amount of time, etc., and really have worked out a nice formula for a fun yet competitive tournament. Nice pass here by Daphne. Ledger will set it up and stroke it home. Nicely done. And as usual, anytime we come to a tournament these days, it seems we see players that we have not seen, in some cases, in decades. A couple of times today, people have come up to me and said, Jim, it's great to see you again after all this time. And I say, it's great to see you too, dude, because I don't know what your name is. But
happened to me twice already. Like, hey, man, hey, you. He says, hey, Mark, it's been a long time. What's up, dude? How are you?
Yeah.
Who are you playing with? This is my next question. Who are you playing with? Because I don't know who I'm talking to. But I appreciate everybody who's a fan of Inside Foods.
Yeah, for sure. And it's great to know that players are coming out of the woodwork to some degree. A lot of players have retired from business or now have grown children or whatever and are returning to the tour, because one thing you never lose is you never lose your love for the game.
I'm glad they've grown children, Jim, like tomato plants. They've grown children and set them free.
You got to pick them first before you can set them free.
This guy shoots a pull shot, right?
4-2.
Oh, it's a rollover. Oops.
That's right. We're 6 goals in, and there it is.
Nice.
He strokes it home. Now 7 goals in to make it 4-3 as Paul Ledger starting to heat up. Paul, a very strong player. Forsyth. Try to go along the wall, and Daphne able to keep it out.
Really smart jar when it's been calculated and done well there. We weren't playing in that kind of environment.
When was the last time? Yeah, when was the last time we saw a really smart jar? Though, Terry Moore was
Tommy's
great
here.
at it.
Tommy Atkinson's here.
Atkinson, sure, yeah. That timely one. It isn't really a jar, or is it?
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. The smartest jars on the planet were always Federico. That guy knew exactly when to hit the ball. He knew exactly. The 2 smart jars, Federico and then the great Terry Moore.
Terry Moore was maybe the best I ever saw. He had such leverage.
Yeah, with his knee and his leverage. Keep it clean.
Sent up the table by Daphne, picked up here by Dumas.
That was a deliberate pass, brush lane middle, but it was a little too slow.
And there's Jim trying to hit it off that outside wall, picked up here by Forsyth, who can win game number 1. Chris setting up the snake shot against Daphne Wells. Strokes it home. It's 1-0. And we're going to switch sides.
You don't see much switching sides these days, but I love it. When you lose the first game, it's a great change of pace.
Yeah, it is.
I actually enjoy it. Like, if you lose that first game on one side, why not switch sides? Why not? You change it up a little bit, right?
Yeah. And it gives me something to do while they're switching. I get to switch cameras around, and Paul and Daphne are over there in the corner, and Chris is wrapping his forward 3-rod handle. All right, strong opening game performance, especially from that man right there, Chris Forsyth, who leads his team to a 5-3 victory and a 1-0 lead. They'll now be on the left with Paul Ledger, and eventually Daphne Wells joining the fray. Jim Dumas re-entering.
I've been offered two, and the guy that offers them to me doesn't deliver, so.
Oh, by the way, we've been asked by Daphne Wells to say hi to Miriam Ali watching in London.
Is Miriam awake right now?
Apparently.
How would we know that?
Well, because she texted her message to Daphne apparently and said, "Go girl, you go girl, kick their booties," or something like that.
Our team in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Wherever that is, somewhere east of us.
It's the great Stephen Lyle and the great Miriam Ali, who are such a major part of Inside Foods and do such a great job with us and for us. At some point, they're going to get out of the house and actually come to a tournament, we're thinking.
Staying up late, those two.
Yeah.
Watching
early.
football.
Yeah. Well, we're on the East Coast, though, right? We're on the East.
What does that mean?
So it's 5 hours only, I think, instead of, like in Moneyball, it was 8 hours. We're on the West Coast. In fact, that's what we've done over the last month, you and I. We went from Portland, Oregon to Dallas, Texas, and then we've come all the way here to the Atlantic Coast. I should say Atlantic Coastline. I should say coastline, shouldn't I? Atlantic Coastline here at Lake Worth.
Why? Explain that to me. Where does your brain filter coastline versus coast?
I don't know. It just seems like a more applicable thing to say.
You could have made something up, Jim. It would have been more credible than just feeling it.
In truth, I'm a feel it kind of guy, though, Mark. You've got to know that by now. I play by the gut. I go with the gut. Speaking of guts.
Speaking of guts, look at that hairline. What are we talking about? What are we doing, dude? What?
I have not had a mauler, folks. I have not had a mauler. All right. 1-0 lead for Chris Forsyth and Jim Dumas. They'll be on the left as we open up game number 2 with Paul Ledger and the smiling Daphne Wells on the right. Daphne, a former baseball groupie.
What does that mean?
She used to hang out with ball players.
Oh, cool.
She knows baseball. She's a big baseball fan, knows baseball players.
I just like the summery dress. It's very humid out here, and people are dressed, except for me. I'm wearing a full-on long-sleeve jacket.
Yeah, he's wearing like you are, a full jacket, long pants.
If you can see everybody, she's this beautiful summery dress. People are in shorts and T-shirts. Jim, get a shot of me.
You want a shot? All right, hold on.
Take your time, Jim.
3, 2, 1. Oh.
Whoa. I don't see it.
I'm asking you, let me do this.
Oh, there we are. Look at that.
I'm wearing the long sleeve jacket. It's super warm. Everybody else is wearing
He's wearing fleece.
Wearing a fleece. It's because I don't require food or water, and I don't sweat unless I'm sweating, and then I'm really sweating.
Summery dress.
Back to the action.
Fleece. Summery dress. Fleece.
It's like 70% humidity, 90 degrees. But in here, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's very cool in here.
Back here.
Temperature drops.
Yeah. Swamp coolers in the windows.
Swamp cooler. You guys are ready to roll whenever you want.
This is 7 minutes between games so far.
It's super casual here, by the way. It's like...
I hear Jimmy Buffett singing in the background.
This is a casual deal. It's a Beatdown, folks.
All right, here we go. Second game underway as it's put into play by Ledger. And he's able to advance it along that near wall. Looking to strike first here in the second game, shooting against Jim Dumas. Paul Ledger. Trying to take it out to that far side, blocked and taken away by Dumas. Or as they would say in France, Dumas.
or as they would say in Tennessee, dumb.
All right, here
Yeah,
we go.
let's let it go.
All right. But Alexander Dumas, do you know the name?
Yeah, the great lover.
I don't know if he was a lover or not. He was a writer, however, and I believe he wrote the Three Musketeers, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Which I could be. This is Forsythe. And he strokes it home, all for one and one for all, and one for Dumas and Forsythe here in this second game.
Showing a lot of patience on that 3-bar and capitalizing on advantages made in the last game. Paul's probably feeling the heat right now and feels more behind than he actually is. It's 1-0, but you could feel a lot further behind.
All right, a big possession here for Paul Ledger.
I could actually play in beginner best because I never.
And he finds that hole down the middle. Dumas left it a little bit too long.
I'm going to say Dumas. Just call him Monsieur Dumas.
Monsieur Dumas.
Monsieur Dumas. And Paul Ledger.
Nice pass along the wall by Forsythe, who has played a very focused match, unlike those of us up here in the booth. Looking for the lead here in this second game. Chris Forsythe strokes it home near side with authority.
I'm not sure where her defense started, frankly, because I wasn't paying close enough attention to the match. But sometimes that frenetic movement is the worst thing. Sometimes you just got to reset. You got to take control of the match and completely change the look and the speed and everything just to get him to look at it a second time. And it's tough when you start off in a fast spot because then you got to reel it in. If you start off fast and frenetic paced and you start getting drilled, I think sometimes it can be more difficult to slow it way down. But it doesn't mean it's any less effective.
Wow, look at Dumas off that outside wall as he cranks that bank. Holy cow. It's 3-1. Wow. That's one of the best banks I've seen all year.
He's got solid goalie play back there, and it's tough to overcome when the forward is getting outplayed incrementally on the percentage-wise, and then the goalie is outplaying. You're losing on every rod, basically.
Here's Daphne. Is she looking at bank? She is. Look at that. Back comes Daphne Wells with the bank. Trying not to smile. Trying not to. It was a great shot by Daphne. And Forsythe can't hold on to it, so potentially a little bit of a switch in momentum here, Mark Torres.
Too early to tell. That's the reason why you just can't.
I said potentially.
Yeah. We got to create drama, right?
Yeah.
Massive momentum shift.
And that one, again, Forsythe has dropped a couple of passes, hasn't executed a couple of others.
He's trying to loosen up. You can see Paul just trying to shake it off a little bit and get a little bit more comfortable.
Again, she's looking at that bank, instead trying to feed it down the middle, taken away here by Forsythe, who has shot it well throughout the match. A lot of movement and a timeout.
So we go back to fundamentals in foosball. She scored that great bank, but the primary interest of that next possession is to clear that 5-bar, clear the 3-bar and clear the 5-bar. If she had a little more pace on it, and so she's setting up in the center, she shot a bank, she actually tried to pass it down the center. It just needed a little more pace. It was a little too slow, and the gentleman, Chris, picked it up on his 5-bar and kicked it back, got on his 3-bar. So she didn't execute getting it across the table, but she needed to put a little more pace just to get across the table. Scoring it is not as important as getting past the 3-bar and the 5-bar to the other side of the table.
Yeah, that's true. And Paul Ledger will step back to defend. And it's match point.
I just figured it's wide open. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm going.
Sometimes get coffee. Hey, it's down, don't you?
Well, there we go.
A little fun, friendly banter that
I suppose so.
I might take personally. It was me.
Nobody takes anything personally here at the Beatdown. They should, perhaps, but not in this occasion. It's now match point for Forsythe and Dumas. It's been an outstanding performance by those two, and Chris able to take it away here from Ledger. A chance to win it here for Chris Forsythe. Daphne can't stop him, and there it is. So, in 2 straight games, Chris Forsyth and Jim Dumas defeat Paul Ledger and Daphne Wells to advance in expert doubles.
Yeah, that was a nasty bag. I'll be honest, I missed both of them.
Like, girl, I didn't even know you could do that.
All right, so they're going to change a rod here on table number 1, and we'll put the camera on so you can watch how they do it. But if you're a subscriber, you can head over to stream number 2 on table number 2, which is across the way there, and watch some foosball coming up there as well. Otherwise, we'll leave you on a little bit longer on YouTube with our free little bit of a taste of the Beatdown Beatdown, and we'll be back tomorrow with you at noon Eastern Time here in the United States for another hour or 2 of free foosball from the Beatdown Beatdown. But otherwise, let's head over to table number 1 and watch them change the rod.
Maggie, is there paper towels over there?
Is these?
Oh, yeah, I'll take that.
Where's the carrot? By the way, that rod was not meant for there.
No. I think Jim literally steal the rod? He did. Okay.
By the way, there's a ball underneath, right underneath there somewhere, dude. We might need a broom to fish a ball out.
Do we look at the table at your balls?
Yeah, please.
Just one ball.
You probably could use that rod to fish a ball out that's under the table.
Under the platform, you mean?
Yeah, under the platform.
We'll get it when we take the platform down.
Yeah, we got more balls. Do you need another one?
No, but they do tend to. We should probably block that off at some point. That would be good.
You're right. I should have built that all the way
The
down.
balls. You put anything in front of
I
there.
thought Jim would have a longer
The beers here.
All right, sorry, keep going, gentlemen.
Want to take this rod out, Jim? Oh, Matt could be here soon. Let's do it. All right, so.
Still 0-0.
So Mark and I are going to play a little foosball.
Ready? I'm 4 maulers in.
Rumor has it's kind of short on his face.
Yeah!
I think I was told I was called back up here. Got that slick ball back in there? That's not it. I think I'm gonna call an official on that stop pass. I'm gonna call sweet on that.
I can do some things. I can do some things, although we're get in front of the camera.
Dude, now you can do it better. I can.
Ready? See twice?
They pretty much know that.
Get out of here.
No, I'm up on it. We got bozos in the way. You gonna chicken mama?
They fixed it.
You guys asking for new balls?
Yeah, one of them is like slick.
There's a match coming up. You ready?
Sure. Last week we played on with Daphne and her partner, and he even said pull one of them out. Sorry about that.
Is that another team here yet?
We don't care what more. We're not
I'm going to do an inside. I'm going to do a live post of what's going on out there. Okay. All that the match will be funneled in.
How are you up there?
Well, you can tell it's not loaded, but that's very good. Oh, that's great. I was totally just loaded to go full time. I saw a big.
All right, getting ready for some more action here on table number one. We're going to have another expert doubles match in the semifinals of the winners bracket coming up here on table number one momentarily.
You go with that right just in case, or do you have a side cover? Well, I was having to check that.
He's actually selling shirts to the side.
Yeah, I'm gonna resell these.
Oh, that's so much better.
Maintenance coming in ball change?
Yeah, we're good. Thank you.
Check out those wraps. Top on it.
Bird, man. Sweet.
Camo round.
Yeah, that's all.
Any camo. That's right.
Sorry about that.
I think so.
I put yours up. Yes, I don't have to put them up. Oh, good. Get ready. Brand new ones. You need yours. Properly tempered.
Well, with the gloves, you know, bro, you good partner has to come back here. Oh, yeah.
Well, you need to hide your card. Yeah, 'cause you really wins games. Sometimes that's what you need. I can't believe it on so coming stage.
Somewhere I watched some great live stream of that come on
Come on, buddy.
Long time no see.
Kinda. All right, so we've got an open doubles, rather an expert doubles match down on table number one. That's Ben Davis in the forward position. His partner is Ricky Stuckey. And they're on the left side, and over on the right, again, that's Chris Forsyth and Jim Dumas. This is a match in the winner's bracket, a semifinal match. The winner of this one would advance to the winner's bracket final. Jim Dumas, a veteran goalie out of Florida.
You're always welcome up here, dude.
Chris Forsyth, who shot the ball so well in that last match. As this one blocked up into the air and off the table. Ben Davis will come back in his Foosballers shirt. And Foosballers, the movie, now available internationally. Go to foosballersthemovie.com. And that went up into the air and off the table. It remains 0-0 in game number 1. Best 2 games out of 3. Again, the winner would advance to the winner's bracket final as Jim Dumas will put the ball back into play. Sends that one up the table. Nicely done. Forsyth frustrated because he felt he should have had it. Probably should have. Nice pass by Dumas. Comes back to Stuckey. Fires that one up the table, and Ben Davis is able to grab it on his 3-rod. Shooting the snake shot, and Dumas there to make the block up into the air and off the table. And he'll put it back into play. Another chance here for Forsyth. Shooting against Stuckey. Chris rocks and finds that far side of the goal to make it 1-0 here in game number 1. Hey, Mark, you're back.
Look who's back. Back again. I was just checking out the room, man. I did a little live video. It's on the public Inside Foods Facebook page.
For the Facebook page, not the group.
The Facebook page, and we should probably move it to the private Inside Foods TV page. But it's hot and hopping out there. They did us a favor by making it quieter in here. But there's a ton going on in the adjoining rooms, man.
Yeah, they have us back here in our own separate room with a couple of tables. But yeah, you go out into that main room, and it is action-packed with about 80 players out there competing. And that one's going to roll to a stop. 1-0 lead here in the first game for Forsyth and Dumas.
Is this Ben Davis and Ricky Stuckey?
Yeah, good guess.
For third place, so both of them have won their... hold on a second.
Yeah, they're
at 5th, playing at 3rd.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, hold on here. We got a call. And that one's going to be awarded to Davis on the 5.
So a lot of these guys and gals are all very local. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You got some travelers like Tommy Atkinson, and then you got the little distance drivers like Tom Yor drove, I think, 4 hours, 3.5 hours.
Our good friend Brad Lorene is here from Oregon. How about that?
That's a diehard Foozer. I'm going to question Brad's life choices the next time I talk to him.
Oh, I thought you were going to do it here on the air. Wouldn't be the first time.
Oh, let's get Brad up in the booth and talk to him about his drive from Oregon to
Texas, first of all.
Lake Worth, Florida.
Yeah, first he stopped in Texas. Here's Davis.
Oh, he's following the tour.
Yeah.
He's touring.
He's touring in his luxury motorhome. Yeah. Ben Davis now evening it up at 2 apiece here in game number 1.
I want to tell him I appreciate him, and I'm grateful for him.
Okay.
But touring is what an amazing thing to do, to retire and then tour. Okay, fine.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Super cool.
Here's Forsyth walking it, looking to give his team the lead here in this opening game, and he does. He waits and then finds that near corner. Chris Forsyth playing well.
Do you know these guys well? Do you know Ben Davis well?
I do know Ben, yeah.
How?
Just from attending tournaments, and he was also an Inside Food sponsor last year. Now Hiring Heroes is the name of his company.
What is that? Tell me about it.
Well, he apparently an employment agency of sorts for returning military personnel.
Oh, cool, man. I love that.
We're even at 3 here in game number 1. And a good one so far. Semifinal in the winner's bracket of expert doubles as Forsyth will again look to give his team the lead. And he does. Showing great patience, possession after possession. Chris Forsyth of Buford, Georgia, according to his shirt. Seems like the perfect name for a town in Georgia.
You know what doesn't get enough attention, Jim?
I don't.
You want to know what doesn't? Defensive blocking. It's just like
okay, just general defensive blocking.
Well, so let me give you an example.
All right.
I was talking to Tommy Atkinson earlier, and he said something funny to me.
Did you just name drop?
Yes. He said in his area, some people have been giving the same defense for 20 years.
And he felt responsible, didn't he? He said, I guess that's my fault. I should have told them.
And then I retorted with, well, Tommy, if you're making a living off winning the draws, why would you tell them when the straight is open? If they don't know how to block a straight, the burden is on them. But now Tommy's feeling responsible. Anyway, point being this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about...
By the way, game number 1 goes to Forsyth and Dumas. We're now just a game away from the winner's bracket final. Go on.
Here's what I'm trying to say. So it's like chess, and I mean this in the most fundamental of ways. Chess is just moving little plastic pieces. It's what happens between your ears. So there's masters at chess that know how to move the plastic pieces better than you do. They move in a more organized way. There's more thought behind it. But at the end of the day, there's no physical effort moving a pawn 2 pieces between me and the greatest players in the world. Well, that's the same thing with foosball defense. You're just moving them in around. You're moving them in with a certain pace and a certain timing and a certain thought behind it. It's exactly like chess.
That's really interesting. It's a really interesting take, Mark. I have to admit, because you can just move them in around, or you can do it with design, right? Yeah.
And so let's remove speed. Let's take away guys that are hyper fast, like Federico and Billy, who can race you. Take that out. Yeah. Someone like Bobby Diaz. Yeah. Or even someone lesser known like Dana Marr, or like Gus Trevino. These guys are moving the ball, and you saw, not to be too self-gratifying, but you saw me move them in very slowly. 2017 in open doubles. I'm not moving them in. Yes, I'm not moving the ball in very fast. So when you see a defense and the person's moving very fast and getting drilled, just think about the infinite number of ways they can move those men slower or differently, with a different angle, with different spaces being covered. Yeah. All it is a little bit of attention to detail. At the end of the day, you're moving little plastic men in a different way that gets blocks.
And I think he used another nice pass here from Stuckey to Davis. He used Bob Diaz, who seems to be really the ultimate example of this sort of approach to defense, where you're not moving a lot. You know exactly why you're moving and where you're going to move next, but you're not urgent about it necessarily. And you've always talked about Gus Trevino as well as being kind of that sort of goalie. And there's something to be said for that, isn't there?
Gus was a prolific defender in the clutch. 3-3, 4-4 balls. He was a prolific defender, and he never moved with urgency or pace or speed. He moved incredibly slow, and it was the movement of being slow and smooth that he got blocks. Yeah. So a lot of the defense you see here are lower ranked defenses, and they're out of position often.
Yeah. No, that's so true.
I mean, that's not that bad. When you see overblocking, so on the pull side he's overblocking, and he got lucky right there because that split could go in. If you're blocking on the white line, you're overblocking. You're blocking too much goal, and he's frequently doing that. So he's fortunate he came back on it. But that pull side's open when he thinks he's on it.
And so that's something that these young players who have been playing for 30 years in Oklahoma have been doing for 30 years.
And getting drilled. See, there's the pull side. You got drilled on the pull side. He might think he's blocking the pull side when he's overblocking it. So guess what's open? The long and the 3/4. 2 holes are actually open on the pull side.
And do you think this sort of approach that you're talking about, nice pickup here by Forsyth, went with a quick one here after he had been so successful taking his time. But do you think this is something that takes experience? It takes maybe someone training you, teaching you, giving you the ideas, organizing the concepts that you're talking about? Or is it something that someone can learn on their own, or simply by listening to you here tonight?
Well, so I think there's scenarios for all three. People have broken it down very eloquently on the podcast, like Dana Marr. Yeah. And the idea is that you don't need to block the entirety of a whole hole. You only need the edge of a man.
That's a great point.
To get the ball.
Yep.
So now you can actually cut the hole down by 30% if you just decide to block less of the hole than you're used to blocking.
Yeah.
You only need to catch the ball at the edge of a man. And so that's the whole philosophy behind that defense. Now, you can learn it on your own, but why reinvent the wheel? All it really takes is asking a master goalie to talk to you and try to open up about the fundamentals of defense if they're open to doing it. And there are plenty of goalies out there, masters out there that would tell you about defensive fundamentals. You see, he keeps going pull side. He's going to hit those pull sides. He's going to get them because the gentleman is over blocking that pull side.
But the last couple of possessions, Forsyth has not taken his time like he did earlier in the match or in the previous match we saw, when he has taken 5-6 seconds after setting it up and let the defender cycle through a few times and get a read. He's been successful. And it's getting a read that's really the key here. And against a good defender, those reads aren't as obvious, are there? You don't really know specifically what that defender is going to do. He's showing you something that he may give you or may not.
Right.
And Bobby Diaz at times would show you a full half of the goal. Well, you dare you.
You would get coaching from people on shooting to Bobby Diaz that if you see the hole and recognize it, you're already too late.
Yes.
You might as well not shoot it. So anticipate it, because Bobby is going to close that hole on you. And you don't get to a spot like Bobby Diaz without being an incredible defender. And there's another guy who does not move with any sense of urgency, does not move with any pace. He knows exactly where his men are at all times. Mm-hmm. So he's a really, really good example of thoughtful movement of those little men.
Yeah, those little men, yeah. Yep. And same with chessmen. I love that analogy. All right, well done. Very well done. And hopefully those of you out there listening learned a little bit from Mr. Torres, who may enjoy the occasional 4 maulers on a Friday evening, but also knows the game very well.
This is look, this is good defense. This is actually good defense. Maybe a score on it, but look at how he's not over blocking. You see how he's not over blocking on the white line? He's not over covering a hole. He's basically staying in the center of the goal and catching the ball with the edge of the man on all 3 holes. So you got to hit a precise hole, and you got to time it right, and it just reduces the number of variables.
Yeah, no, that's great stuff. Very, very good. And you know, another guy that you think about, although he really kind of made the shuffle famous, but Lewis Cartwright was also really good defensively at catching those pieces of the ball. And there's Davis hammering it home near side. But talking about Diaz, we're in Florida, so of course we're going to talk about Bobby Diaz, who is not here this weekend and is basically, I suppose, in semi-retirement.
He considered, according to Mike Yor, he considered coming. He was thinking about coming out here.
Okay.
But he didn't, so who knows?
So we're even at 2 here in the second game. 1-0 lead for Chris Forsyth and Jim Dumas. They're on the right. And again, you see Dumas. A lot of movement, but it's smart movement.
It's in a narrow space. Oh, that's a good look at where he shot. That's a perfect split. He had 2 men in the center, and it split him. That's a good, maybe part luck, but part smart shot on his end. Hit 2 men in the center.
Here comes Forsyth to even it up at 3. 3-3 here in game number 2.
It's a really patient. We watched them. This is our second match we've watched them. They watched them get from 5th to 3rd. I'm talking about Forsyth and Dumas. And they're playing a smart, methodical, tempoed style of play.
Shout out to Amy Eckhart-Stevens watching in Durango, Colorado.
Who is it? Who is it? Sorry, Josh, you want me?
I don't know. I thought. Oh,
no, Mark's got a phone call.
How'd this get over there, man? I dropped my phone. It ended up like 10 feet away. Sorry, guys. It's like I threw it. That was crazy.
All right, way to interrupt the match.
Yeah.
All right, get back into play as Davis. That one, boy, ricocheted up into the air. That could have got somebody. That was a foul ball into the stands. They put up netting at baseball games now. You're not going to get those line drives into the stands, but that one certainly came back off that back wall. Davis put a lot behind it, and now Ben able to take it away from Dumas with a chance to give his team the lead.
So overall, Dumas. Are we going French? Did you make a decision on that?
I just alternate, really. Every once in a while, I'll just throw in Dumas.
Let's call Monsieur. Monsieur Dumas.
Monsieur Dumas.
Monsieur Dumas. Overall, you see the steady defensive play. We've watched him in his second match now, and it's been very, very steady, focused goalie play.
Well, Jim, a veteran, long-time player, probably 4 decades of experience, has played in some big matches early in his career. Played a lot of those great Florida players, played with Horton. And that's Ricky Stuckey calling a jar on himself. You gotta like that.
It's very friendly here in the Beachtown Beatdown.
Yeah, so far.
See what happens though in the open events, or things get a little tighter if these calls are as friendly.
All right, here's Forsyth again. You get Stuckey and fighting that hole down the middle.
That's a great example. Yep. He was over blocking the pull side, and I don't know if he wanted to go pull or 3/4, he would have got both. You could watch that on the replay. The pull side is there because he's over blocking it. He's going beyond the white line or on the white line, which leaves him at risk of 2 holes. He's exposed.
It's match point for Forsyth and Dumas as Ben Davis comes back, shot down the middle, blocked in, taken away by Dumas.
Monsieur Dumas with the ball. Pull kick pass.
You're going to do well at the World Cup. If we ever commentate the World Cup, and we hope to.
If I get a feigned France accent en français, I can do it just fine, James.
I think so.
Ooh, look at that pass.
Yeah. Chance here for Chris Forsyth to send his team to the winner's bracket final. Has a timeout remaining, and he'll use it.
Monsieur Dumas. With the Bud Light.
Have you been to France before? Have you been?
I've been to Paris. Yeah, it's lovely, man. Amazing in catacombs and amazing.
Did you go to the Louvre?
Went to the Louvre. It was great, man.
Yeah. Went there a couple of times with my lovely wife Amy.
They lost our baggage, and my wife and I.
The Louvre lost your baggage?
Yeah. Well, the airport lost our bag. They gave us like a credit, and we got lost the very next morning. Got up early and ate hot French croissants at some little bakery place.
There's Forsyth looking for the win, and there it is. In 2 straight games, Chris Forsyth and Jim Dumas defeat Ben Davis and Ricky Stuckey to advance to the winner's bracket final of expert doubles. You know, only in France can you get croissants like that.
Yes. If I could coach Ricky Stuckey, I would talk to him about his defense on the pull side, that I'm not sure he understands where the boundaries are of blocking on the pull side. It left too many opportunities. I was talking about it early on in game 1. And he got hammered on the pull side. Another pull side finished that match, but Chris could have got push side too at that point because he had gone pull side so many times. He probably could have shot a quick push side. Now everything's open.
You said if you could coach Ricky Stuckey. I think you just did for about the last game. I think if he goes back and watches that, there may be some pretty valuable little nuggets that he can pull out of your soliloquy there about defense.
Well, thank you, but sure, there's a lot. There's so much about the game, and I know very little. I know this much about the game. There are guys in this room, Tommy Atkinson, Tony Spreadham, and you, who know mountains of knowledge about the game. Those are the little details that get people from beginner to amateur, amateur to expert, expert to pro.
All right,
that's the difference.
No, it's good stuff. Really good stuff, Mark Torres. All right, that's going to wrap it up for the free section here at this segment tonight on YouTube. If you're not an Inside Foods subscriber, please head over to InsideFoods.com and subscribe. Get more than 600 archived matches, get live events, get original programming, get the Texas State Championships, Moneyball, the Beachtown Beatdown, of course, National Championships coming up here in a couple of weeks in Denver, Colorado as well, the Bardo later this summer, the Tornado Championships in Kentucky. So lots of stuff. You got to be a member to get all of it, and we hope you head over to InsideFoods.com. Any final words?
Yes, use that code FOOS. Get a 25% discount. There is every reason to subscribe. You probably learned something, a little something, just listening to that last match, but there's no reason to unsubscribe. There's new live streaming tournaments basically every month, and when we start going to Europe, it gets better and better. So get that InsideFoods.com subscription. Use code FOOS, F-O-O-S, 25% discount.
How do you spell that again?
F-O-O-S, F-O-O-S. And we're partying here, man. I'm on my 4th Mauler. I'm buying Maulers. We're having a great time, and it's going to get better and better in this room.
If you're in the neighborhood, stop in and tell the bartender flavors Pepe, and it'll go on Mark Torres's tab. You'll get to drink them all. At some point, I think I'll try one. I'll taste one.
They're awesome, dude. They're awesome. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining.
All right, folks. Those of you watching at InsideFoods.com, we're going to shut it down just for a couple of minutes, and then switch things around a little bit, and we'll be back live with you here in just a few.